Well, welcome back, friends. Today I want to share with you my minimalist packing essentials and the things that I never travel without. I'm a big believer in packing less but better and bringing the right things. You know, the things that you're actually going to use rather than stuffing your suitcase full of a ton of random items that you never even touch. I think we've all been there at some point, right? But after traveling a lot in the past few years, I've been able to hone in on what I really need, the things that I use and reuse every trip. So today I want to share with you my all-star list and the essentials that come with me every time I travel, whether I'm going to be gone for 3 days or over a month. So jumping right into this, my first travel essential is an oversized cardigan. A good cardigan is one of those things that just always comes in handy. It's perfect for travel days, for fluctuating temperatures. I really like a good oversized cardigan too because they're so cozy. You can ball it up and use it as a pillow in a pinch or spread it out and use it as a blanket. I've had this one in my wardrobe for I think 6 years now. It's just one of those staple pieces that never goes out of style, that's super versatile, super comfortable, and all of those ingredients are exactly what I look for when it comes to packing. And this specific cardigan is typically what I'll take with me. I do also have a version of it in cream, so sometimes I'll take that instead. But during the summer and when I'm going somewhere where I just know it's going to be hot the entire time I'm there, sometimes that can be a little bit excessive. So when I want to have a good layering piece that is a little bit lighter weight, what I'll bring instead is this kind of like shirt that I'll wear as a cardigan. Okay, I'm trying to find the top of it. There we go. This top has a lot of elements of my cardigan. It's very oversized, it's easy to layer with, but what it has going for it that the other one doesn't is where my other cardigan is in a very thick, warm material. This is in a very breezy, lightweight material, which is perfect for summer weather. But either way, one of these two tops, or I actually have the cream versions of both of these tops, but one of those is gonna come with me because it's just always helpful to have a layer you can throw on. Okay, but then another travel essential that I absolutely swear by is a travel size razor. This is the travel size version of the Gillette Venus razor. I've had it for several years, so again, it's lasted really well. What I love about this razor is it's very compact, it's easy to use. The heads of this razor you can actually pop off and replace, so that's amazing. They're great quality too. But the case on this thing is the real game changer, especially when you're on the go a lot. And when you're traveling, you just don't always have time to make sure that everything is perfectly dry before packing up and heading on to the next place. So what's so great about this case is that there are actually little air pockets right where the blade is facing, which allows it to air dry even if it's in your suitcase or anything like that. That way you're not dealing with rust, you're not dealing with mold, and then the other benefit of having a case too is that the razor itself isn't going to snag on anything. So it's just one of those like handy things to have when traveling that low-key makes a big difference. Then something else, if you've watched any of my packing videos in the past, you may already know this, but I am a huge sucker for little pouches. And here are just a couple examples, but they really are my favorite packing essential. What I like to use these for are items that I need regular access to, but want to keep contained. So for example, in this one, I keep my makeup. This one, I have some daily essentials like hand cream, a nail file, really just like the contents of my purse. This one has electronic cords. So these really are just such a useful tool for keeping your bag organized. I love that I can, when I need to get at my makeup, electronic cords, whatever it is I've packed in them, I can just grab the pouch, get what I need from it, put it back in my bag, and it really helps to ensure that you don't have just a ton of loose items scattered about your bag or your backpack. What makes the system even easier too is I just always keep these bags packed, so my makeup just lives in here, and that way when I'm packing, when I'm getting ready to travel, I can literally just zip this up and throw it in my bag. So little pouches like this are a super handy travel essential to have. I love them, but then I also do want to give a quick shout out to cotton produce bags. And these are great for storing kind of larger groups of items, so I'll often use one of these bags to store my undergarments in or to use as a dirty laundry bag when I'm traveling. Or for this largest size, I'll often pack my shoes in them. That way the dirty soles of my shoes aren't directly touching anything else in my suitcase. But then next, let's talk about a great accessory that is perfect for travel days, and that's this Coach wristlet. I love this thing, especially when I'm flying, because it really is the perfect thing just to hold all of your on-the-go essentials. So in this little thing, I have just enough space for my wallet, my passport, a little bit of cash, and then usually my chapstick and AirPods. It's so nice. As you're walking through the airport, you can just carry it on your wrist. That way, when you're going through security, you need to pull out your boarding pass, you have it right there with you, which I love. You don't need to go rummaging around in your bag for wherever you put your passport. What's nice about this one too, it's the very compact, simple, and elevated design. So you don't just need to use it during your travel day. And when you arrive at your destination, you can use it as an alternative to a purse if you want, or even just it's small enough that you can tuck it in your bag if you brought a larger purse with you. So again, this is one of those things that it's just like a default that it's coming with me when I'm traveling. But then let's talk about sleeping, because I know that for many of us, it can be really difficult to fall asleep or to stay asleep when we aren't in our own bed. So another big travel staple for me is a black silk eye mask. Regardless of where I'm going, this is something that comes with me. You just never know what the sleeping situation is going to be like wherever you're headed, and especially if you have a travel day, something like that. This is one of those small things that can help bring a bit of consistency to your sleep routine. My go-to is this black silk one. Silk is great for your skin. It won't break you out. And the fact that it's black too just gives you that extra bit of darkness, which is so nice. This one in particular is from Lily Silk. I'm a big fan of it, but I've also used one from Amazon in the past. It was only like $12, so I'll link that below as well. Can't go wrong with either option. Then one travel, almost secret weapon of mine is this TSA liquids bag. This bag right here really has been my key to mess-free liquids. I always just used to use a Ziploc bag, then I started using a pretty flimsy plastic one, which broke after really only a couple of uses. But a few years ago, I upgraded to this liquids bag and it has made such a difference. What I love about it is it's really sturdy and the seal on it is firm. So even if a liquid does leak or burst in the bag, which realistically just happens sometimes when you fly, but even if that happens, the mess is going to stay in this bag and not get in my suitcase. Plus, I'm always just shocked by how much I can fit in here. It fits the TSA liquid bags requirement. I've flown a ton with it, never had an issue, but I swear I can fit so much more in this thing than I have in any other liquids bag I've used in the past. I feel like that may be because it's a more sturdy bag. I just feel like I can pack more in it without worrying that it's just going to burst at the seams. But what's really convenient too is because this is a dedicated bag, it's something that I can just keep packed at all times, and then when I'm getting ready to travel, like with my makeup, I can just grab it and go. I'm all about little things like that that just make packing feel effortless. Okay then ladies, this next one is for us. Probably the single-handed most useful travel item that I own is a menstrual cup. I mean, I use mine at all times, but it is especially useful when traveling. Whenever my period is scheduled to come while I'm away, or even if we're cutting a bit close, this comes with me. It's so great because it makes it so you don't need to worry about packing a ton of pads, a ton of tampons. Is there anything worse than guessing how many you're going to need on a trip and then being short a few? Oh, it's the worst. My menstrual cup removes all that stress and it takes up way less space too. So from a packing perspective, it's amazing, but I also love how it just hugely upgrades your overall period experience when traveling, because you don't need to change it out as often and it doesn't leak, both of which are super helpful because when you're traveling, you just don't always know when you're going to have access to a bathroom. This little thing really is a period saver. I swear by them, and I've actually converted several of my friends to using them because I really just think they are that great. But enough about that, let's switch gears a bit, talk about another clothing item. That's a pair of white sneakers, which I guess these are actually a little bit more cream than they are white, but it's fine, still the same point. These are the Adidas Bravada sneakers, which personally I love, but any good pair of white sneakers would also do the trick. They're super comfortable. I can walk long distances in them. I've never gotten a blister, which when we're talking about traveling is definitely a requirement. There are a few things that will hinder your enjoyment of a vacation more than just getting blisters all over your feet from the shoes you're wearing. But what I love about these two is I think they look cool, they're a great neutral, and they're really versatile. So you could wear them with pants, a pair of shorts, a dress even, and that's super important. Shoes take up so much space in your bag, so you better believe if I'm gonna pack a pair of shoes, I'm gonna have to be able to wear them with everything that I bring. Which the great thing about these shoes is you can. I especially love these for travel days, so probably like 80% of the time they end up being the shoe that I wear on the plane or on the road trip, but occasionally they do end up in my suitcase too. At this point though, I can't even remember the last trip that I went on where I didn't bring these guys. So another great one to have. Then one kind of obvious one, but that I think still bears saying, is my AirPods. Need I say more with these? They are just an absolute essential if you're trying to work or relax on the go, especially on travel days. The ones I have are just the classic AirPods, which are great, but if you are wanting to just completely up-level your travel experience, I definitely recommend getting the noise canceling ones. I've heard great things things about them. That's actually what I'm planning to get next. Oh, and one other thing that I'll mention for this, I recently learned about them and I don't have one yet, but I am planning on purchasing one for my next flight is, you know how unfortunately most planes still require that you use a headphone jack for whatever you're listening to if you're wanting to use the in-flight entertainment? Well, I recently learned that they actually make a little adapter so you can use your Bluetooth headphones and get the much better sound quality from those versus the janky little ones they'll usually give you on flights. So that way you can use your headphones while still using the in-flight entertainment, which sounds like such an incredible upgrade, and I'm planning on trying those out. So I'll link them below if you want to test them out yourself. I'm also planning to do that, and of course I'll report back. Okay, but then let's talk about our last travel essential, and that's a good backpack. I have two here, and this is really the only travel essential that changes for me whether I'm going to be gone for a few days or a week or more. So first, let's talk about this travel backpack, and this is the one that I use when I'm going to be gone for, it's usually like 2 to 5 days is what I'll use this one for. And this backpack really is incredible. So first, probably my favorite feature is that this thing unzips completely so you can pack it like you would a regular suitcase, which makes packing clothes for a long weekend trip or something like that just so much easier. But that's not all, there's so much more to this thing. It also has a waterproof pouch at the front where you can store liquids, a couple pockets at the front where you can store anything you want to keep handy, a spot for your laptop at the back, and this thing could fit a pretty large laptop. Then there's also a hidden slot at the back where you could store your passport, wallet, or anything else that you don't want accessible to pickpockets. So just a super handy bag for shorter trips. It really has everything that you need in it, and it's surprisingly affordable too. I found this on Amazon, and it is probably one of my best travel related purchases to date. Oh, and did I mention that bag actually fits the personal size dimensions for most airlines, which is so amazing. But then when I'm going to be gone for longer than a few days, typically I'm going to bring my suitcase. That really removes my need for a lot of the features of the travel backpack. So instead, for those times, I like to bring my trusty ISM bag with me. What I like about this one is it looks really sleek, so it's great for traveling. It's also super comfortable to wear. It's just really well designed. Again, you've got your laptop sleeve, and just one big main compartment has a little internal zipper here, a couple pouches inside. Everything is just so nice, so high quality. This is one of those bags that was definitely an investment, but I've owned it for 5 years now, and it's still going strong. Oh, and then the last feature is just one little pouch at the front. So it's another great option. It's a bit smaller, and I find that it just better meets my needs when I'm also bringing a suitcase. But those are my travel essentials, the things that help me to pack less but better. Now I would love to know, what are your travel all-stars and the things that you never go without? I would love to hear about them, so be sure to let me know what those are in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Bye.